Okay, hello everybody. I want to cover something with you that's of critical importance before we move on with the course. Okay, I'm going to look at this. Okay, this is the discussion that we just did, in which I'm grading, and I'm seeing a couple of things that I need to discuss. Analyze what you believe are the root causes of poverty. Analyze. To analyze means not to give your opinion or your feeling about it, but, the root cause of the poverty, thinking about the role of the individuals, the role of society. Provide specific examples, okay? How do different variables, okay? And so what I want to suggest that we have to do, I know this is sort of a broad thing. I liked people that talked about human capital, about political power. I'm not sure that food pantries necessarily do anything about poverty. But, if that's your answer, that's good. That's fine. That's okay. What you have to look at, right? You look at the rubric, for the assignment, and look at for the discussion assignment as well. This is a sociology class, which means, okay, a couple of things. First of all, your personal experience is valuable. That's great. But where I'm seeing people really, things are starting to divide in a way that's kind of a problem is this. Those of you who have read the chapter and incidentally provided me a citation in APA format at the end of your initial post. The initial post, if you're unfamiliar with that, that's the first thing that you write. Generally addressed the issue, the role of society. Those of you who did not evidence any reading and didn't provide a citation, wrote about your personal experiences, about somebody you knew, some situation, or how you felt, some ideas that you had. That's not sufficient. That's not sufficient for this class. To analyze means to use the information here, to use the data here. And the best way to do that, if I've provided feedback for you, please look at it. Please review the feedback, because it's going to make things a whole lot easier. It's for you to demonstrate to me that you've read the chapter and applied it, rather than just going, well, I think people need to work a little harder, or they need to, my family, I had a cousin that worked really hard. That's nice, but that's not really answering the question here. Okay? We've all had, your personal experience doesn't necessarily apply, to millions of people. That's kind of the idea of this class. Okay, is that we're applying these concepts to what are called social structures, large scale numbers of people, not just, your personal biography, how you feel, your personal experience. That's what you have to do when you do these discussions. Please do this as you move forward. And please, I'm begging you, read the feedback in the rubric. Do not just barrel through these assignments, or you will not do well. Some of you have done excellent work. Some of you have done excellent work, on this discussion. And here, let's look at a good example of this. I want to look at Anna Dabrowski. Okay. So I wanted to show you what an excellent example of a great discussion is. Okay. And this was Anna Dombrowski, right? Okay. She addressed the individual. Okay, she talked about the individual awareness of the problem, people being aware as individuals. And helping kind of an advocacy issue. That's one approach. There are different approaches. Okay. And then she talked about poverty rates. Okay. She gave an example of a single mom struggling with food. Okay. And then she went in and she did a dive into the, she did a dive into the research. She looked at Census Bureau research. That's an excellent job. Let me give you another example here. I think Emily did an excellent job. Okay. Emily Barton, she looked at she talked about how people are struggling. And she looked at, briefly, it's sort of the differences in social class, okay. And she basically assessed, gender and social class, so if you've done something like that, you've demonstrated that you read the material or you read some related material and that you're analyzing this, not just, now some of you, I know you work with clients, but just going, I see people of every kind, that's not sufficient. That doesn't tell us a story about the United States. Okay. Yeah, I see a homeless man on the street with a sign. Yeah, that might be a good way to lead into thinking about this. That's how many homeless men or women are on the streets with signs. Do they represent all homeless people? I don't think so. How, what do we? You got to go beyond your what you feel, what you think is going on without just off the top of your head, without reading the material and demonstrating that you've read the material to me and to everybody else by providing a citation at the end of your initial post. And by treating this topic, and this is true, the reason I'm bringing this up kind of backwards is because you're going to need to do this for this discussion. Okay, what are we talking about this week? Here. Let's look at what we're talking about this week, okay? If we're talking about this week, and I'm just looking drug use and legalization, you're going to need to look, this talks about marijuana, legalization, okay? And you have to just go, I think it's bad, my cousin did too much meth, or and he started off by smoking weed. That's not really going to tell me a story about this. Okay. What people have said is they think that legalization might be a good idea from a functional standpoint because it frees up law enforcement resources, or I think we need to reassess a drug legalization from a critical standpoint because there's structural racism based into the way that those are responses that indicate a sociological response to the issue and not just your opinion or how you feel about it. Okay? So take it beyond that when you're looking at this as you post these discussions. I should have everything graded up and done by Thursday morning at the latest. Okay? Thanks a lot and have a good week.